The biggest lie you've ever been told is that working hard is the antidote to being broke. 2 a.m., third cup of coffee, eyes burning from the blue light of your laptop, wondering why you're still stuck in the exact same spot you were 6 months ago. You see people on your feed, people who aren't smarter than you, people who definitely aren't working as hard as you, quietly moving up. They're buying the gear, they're taking the trips, they're hitting the milestones. And here you are, grinding until your gears strip, yet your bank account looks like a desert. It feels like there's a hole in your bucket, doesn't it? You're pouring in all this effort, all this hustle, but the water just disappears. Well, you're right, there is a hole. And it's not a lack of motivation or some secret algorithm hack. It's a tiny 5-minute habit you do every single day without thinking. It's the invisible drain. And if you don't plug it right now, you are going to spend the next 10 years running on a treadmill that isn't plugged into anything. Let's be real for a second. Most of us are addicted to the feeling of being busy. We mistake movement for progress. You spend 3 hours researching for a YouTube video, or 2 hours organizing your Notion workspace, or an entire afternoon perfecting a study schedule that you know deep down you're never going to actually follow by the time the sun goes down. You're exhausted. Man, I really put in the work today. But did you? Or did you just engage in high-level procrastination? This is where the drain starts. It's the habit of low-value lubrication. We do the easy, productive feeling tasks to lubricate our ego because the actual work, the stuff that moves the needle, is scary. It's hard, it might fail. So we hide in the chores of the digital age. You feel like a CEO because you answered 5 emails, but you're actually just a secretary for your own anxiety. Think about your friends who are actually getting ahead. Watch them closely. They aren't doing more than you. They're usually doing significantly less, but the three things they do are the only things that matter. While you're busy color-coding your calendar, they're sending the cold email. While you're watching day-in-the-life vlogs for inspiration, they're actually recording the first awkward, terrible minute of their video. The invisible drain is that 5-minute window right before you start work, where you decide to just check one thing. You check your views. You check your email. You check a Discord notification. That 5 minutes isn't just 5 minutes. It's a cognitive tax. It's called task switching cost, and it's draining your mental battery before you even touch the real work. By the time you're ready to focus, your brain is already leaking energy. Your mental RAM is cluttered with comments from strangers and headlines about things that don't affect your life. You've probably felt that mid-afternoon burnout, right? That moment where your brain feels like mush and you just want to scroll TikTok for 10 minutes, which turns into 2 hours. That's not a lack of discipline. That's the drain. You've been leaking focus in tiny increments all morning. Every time you quickly reply to a text while studying, you opened a new tab in your brain. Eventually, your RAM is full, the system crashes, and you end up feeling like a failure. This cycle creates a specific type of guilt. It's that heavy sinking feeling in your chest when you realize you've been working all day but haven't actually accomplished a single goal. It makes you feel like you aren't cut out for success. But here's the shocker. The fix isn't a 14-hour workday. The fix is a 5-minute pivot. Let's talk about the just one more trap. You know the one. You've finished a small task, and instead of moving to the big project, you say, I'll just check my YouTube analytics one more time to see if that short blew up. Or, I'll just look at one more tutorial to make sure I'm doing this right. This is the peak of the invisible drain. It feels like learning, but it's actually a shield. You're using information to protect yourself from implementation. In the creator world, we call this creative constipation. You're taking in so much data that you can't actually produce anything. Your friends who are escaping the rat race, they have an output to input ratio that would terrify you. For every minute they spend watching a video, they spend 10 minutes creating. For every page they read, they write 3. They aren't smarter, they're just less drained by the noise. To plug the drain, we have to talk about the first 5 rule. Most people think the start of their work is when they open their laptop. The start of your work is the 5 minutes before you sit down. This is the danger zone. If you spend these 5 minutes reacting to the world, checking notifications, looking at what others are doing, your friends who are escaping the rat race have mastered the zero input entry. They protect that 5-minute window like it's a $1 million asset, because over a long enough timeline, it literally is. They don't check. They don't react. They just execute. It sounds simple, but in a world designed to steal your attention, it's a superpower. You have to treat your focus like a bank account. Every notification you click is a $500 withdrawal. Most of you are starting your workday overdrawn. Now, let's look at the social ghosting phenomenon. Have you ever noticed that the most successful creators or the top students in your class seem disconnected? They don't reply to the group chat instantly. They don't know the latest drama on Twitter. They aren't in the loop. That's not because they're antisocial, it's because they've realized that being in the loop is the fastest way to stay in the rat race. The loop is the drain. It's designed to keep you engaged with everyone else's life so you don't have time to build your own. Your friends are getting ahead because they are comfortable being out of the loop. They realize that the world won't end if they don't see a meme for 6 hours. They are investing that loop energy back into their own systems. The invisible drain also lives in your physical environment. Look at your desk right now. Is it covered in old coffee mugs, random scraps of paper, and 3 different charging cables that don't work? Every object in your field of vision is a silent reminder. That unwashed mug is reminding you that you're messy. That half-finished book is reminding you that you don't finish things. That tangled cord is a visual metaphor for your disorganized thoughts. These are tiny micro-stressors that drain your willpower before you even type a single word. Your friends who are winning have a Zen state workspace. It's not about being fancy, it's about having zero visual friction. When they sit down, there is only the work. Nothing else is competing for their subconscious attention. So, how do we actually fix this? How do you stop being the person who works hard but stays poor? It starts with the pre-flight shutdown. Tonight, before you go to bed, I want you to do something that feels counterintuitive. I want you to choose the one thing, just one, that makes you the most uncomfortable to think about. Maybe it's writing that script, starting that assignment, or finally looking at your expenses. Write it on a physical piece of paper, not a digital app, a physical piece of paper. Digital lists are just more tabs for your brain to manage. Physical paper is a contract. Now, here's the secret sauce. Close every single tab on your browser. Every one. Log out of your socials. Turn your phone off, not on silent, off, and put it in another room. You are setting the stage for a 5-minute win. When you wake up, do not touch your phone. This is the hardest part. The second you check a notification, you've invited 100 strangers into your bedroom to tell you what to think about. That is the ultimate invisible drain. Instead, go straight to that piece of paper. You don't have to work for 4 hours. You just have to commit to 5 minutes of pure output. No research, no prep, no getting in the mood. Just raw, ugly, messy creation. If you're a creator, write the worst paragraph of your life. If you're a student, solve one problem. Just one. What happens next is a shift in your brain's chemistry. You move from a state of consumption to a state of contribution. You'll find that once the 5 minutes are up, you actually want to keep going. The friction was never the work. The friction was the drain. We also need to address the comparison drain. You spend 5 minutes looking at a creator who has 1 million subscribers and you think, I'll never get there. That thought just drained 20% of your motivation. You've just compared your day 1 to their day 1000. It's illogical, yet we do it every single morning. This is why your friends are getting ahead. They've built a comparison firewall. They don't look at the stats of others until their own work for the day is done. They understand that looking at someone else's finish line while you're trying to start your race is the fastest way to trip. The reason your friends are getting ahead is that they understand the compound interest of focus. If you can plug the drain for just 5 minutes a day, those minutes don't just add up. They multiply. You start building a momentum that makes the rest of the day feel easy. You stop feeling like a victim of your schedule and start feeling like the architect of it. The guilt starts to lift. The burnout starts to fade. Because for the first time in a long time, you aren't just moving, you're actually gaining ground. You're finally pouring water into a bucket that can actually